back to Midgame Life Crisis. I am Inconsistency.
Werewolf.
And today, this is episode 10 of Midgame Life Crisis podcast. We've been doing this for
10 months.
10 months now. Yeah, kind of crazy to think about it. And by the way,
Timestamps.
yeah, use them. They're important. They will save you a lot of time. Now, listen. What I want to tell you about what we started talking before recording about the whole standing up and sitting epidemic, if you will.
Yep.
Let's clue the audience in. Basically, we were talking about how when people sit all day, and that's a lot of, I imagine a lot of our crowd are in jobs that do not require too much of a physical activity.
Or
okay?
hobby.
I'm trying to be nice here, okay? We're basically all fat fucks sitting on our computers all day. And yeah, turns out it's not healthy for you. Shocker, I know.
No shit.
It's some shocking news. It's apparently sitting all day in front of a fucking screen.
Apparently sitting on your ass non-stop is not good for you.
Bruh, what is this?
That's
shocking news.
That's not the bit of news, actually. You just asked me if I know that's a problem. I was like, duh.
Yeah.
And then I asked you if you knew that a big study came out that checked if the standing desks, which became a big thing to, reduce the risks that sitting down brings with it, then a big study checked it, and actually just standing up does not reduce those risks.
Yeah, you need to move around. Yeah. So what I want to tell you about it is that my brother, who works in the high-tech industry, and he's like, he also obviously needs to sit down all day, right?
Yeah.
But they brought in standing desks to all the companies.
Yeah, lots of high-tech companies.
And he said that should change his life. He does move around, but still, the fact that he doesn't sit all day, he says he feels more energetic.
Yeah.
He feels more mobile. Obviously, he feels like he doesn't get as tired as fast or bored from menial tasks.
Sure.
And he feels more creative, which is something he didn't expect.
Which is also ties to what I started telling you when we spoke about this. The creative part of the brain is the same part of the mechanical.
The motor side?
The motor side.
Yeah.
So basically, you activate your creative juices when you do something, when you move around, when you use your hands, not when you sit and think.
Yeah.
Sitting and thinking is basically the most counter-creative thing you can do.
Yeah.
Which is why people always have epiphanies in the shower when they're moving around.
The eureka moment never comes when you expect it. It usually comes when you're not thinking about the problem anymore that you were trying to solve all night.
Sure.
And you fall asleep on your desk with your face on the keyboard.
Yeah.
And then you wake up with like
you get the epiphany when you clean the table, when you take a shower, or when you start,
when you do menial thoughtless
when you're calibrating your sniper rifle, then the epiphany falls on you when you're active.
Yeah, I can give an example like for my own self, like even on this channel when I do the editing of the videos, right? You do the audio, I do the video.
Editing, it's so natural.
A lot of the times I find myself standing up. I have a wireless headset, so I stand up and move around, and then if I get stuck, it kind of removes that whatever that thing is, and I get an epiphany.
Yep.
Just by moving around, doing menial tasks.
That's what I mean.
Stop working for a moment.
That activates your creative part of the brain.
It works. This is not a magic trick. This just works. It won't work 100% of the time. Obviously, not every time you go take a shit, you'll have a creative idea or take a shower.
It doesn't guarantee you are a creative person. It guarantees the creative part of your brain will be active.
If you are already in a creative process and you're stuck, what you should do to increase your chances of getting out of that stuck moment is get up, take a walk, do something that has nothing to do with the fucking creative process. And
something automatic, that doesn't require you to actually concentrate on it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, there's a good chance you might have an eureka or an epiphany or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, even if you're stuck in your homework on some exercise that you can't solve. Same thing.
This has been your public safety announcement from Dr.
Safety? No,
Dr. Werewolf,
information.
Professor Werewolf and Dr. Inconsistency. Anyways, never go to a doctor whose name is Inconsistency, by the way. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Let's get
Professor Werewolf is someone that you should listen to.
Good point. All right, let's move on to some more gaming related stuff, my man. What do you want to start with? You pick up the leader right here.
StarCitizen looks nice.
Oh my God, StarCitizen.
Expose.
Basically, there's an expose about StarCitizen that was published a few days ago from the recording of this episode about how there's no actual focus on getting the game done 12 years and $700 million later.
$1 million!
I don't know why you need an expose to figure that shit out. I think that was pretty much... I mean, there's a reason we made a video called Scam Citizen, our most unpopular video ever. People really love this game for whatever reason, this unreleased game.
Look, when they get $700 million out of people for so many years and still not have an officially, published game. The game works, you can play it. Most of the pushback we got for our video was, go play, you can play it.
Yeah.
And it's playable. So they're basically, we've been telling you for years, this game is never coming out.
Well, not the... Okay, there's another thing. We should probably emphasize this, and I think we did so in the video as well. There's two things that are coming from the StarCitizen crew. Yes. StarCitizen is the huge open world multiplayer MMORPG space simulate. It's supposed to be everything together, right? But in a huge multiplayer environment where you're with thousands, hundreds, if not thousands of other people.
Which is more or less what you get now if you go play.
That's what, And that's the part that me and Wolf and a lot of other people think will never come out officially, right? The part that will probably come out eventually is the single player component of the game.
That's almost out, no?
Well, almost. Last I heard, they want to push it back to 2026 now. So it was supposed to... I don't know. It's... whatever, bro.
I hope that thing comes out. Watching the cinematics of the missions and the missions themselves reminds me so much of those old games we loved. Wing Commander.
That's the same.
And TIE Fighter.
Of course, it's the same dude. It's the same.
I know.
It's Roberts.
Exactly. And if those are really in the spirit of the other ones and they're done well, I'd be happy to play it.
Listen, I think, and we talk about it on the video, I think Chris Roberts entered this whole ordeal with a pure heart. Really. I think he had innocent intentions. He really wanted to make...
He might still do.
I don't know about that.
Look, when you're a fanatic about something, you don't realize what you're doing, you understand? It means that he's so laser focused on that ideal thing that we are talking about that he wants to achieve that he doesn't notice that he's been taking $700 million and that it's not okay, that it's been 12 years or whatever.
It's hard not to notice it when there's an expose like this one published every year about about how much money they're making. They're printing money and they don't have an actual game out yet.
It's called confirmation bias, bro. You don't see the things that are threatening how you see things, what your reality is made of. And that way you ignore the things that undermine this, and you only see the things that give you, thumbs up.
How are you going to excuse? I'm sorry, this is why...
I'm not excusing.
No, I'm just saying, let's say you're playing the devil's advocate here. And you're saying, listen, this guy is a visionary. He has a singularity, like you said before, he has a singularity vision. He's extremely obsessive about it.
Yeah.
I could buy that up to a point. I could buy that excuse, if you will, up to a point.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way you can tell me that they sell bundles of their spaceships for thousands of dollars and they do this with no cynical intent. There is just no way. It's mind for a game that is not even out yet. It's mind-blowing to me that this is okay. That a game that is not officially out yet is allowing to sell the player base that are beta testing this game for you thousands of dollars for pixels. Okay? I'm sorry.
The people who buy this are the people that are saying, thank you, give me more.
Listen, you can pay an X amount of money to show your appreciation. When you pay thousands of dollars, that's just greed. I'm sorry, that's cynical and greed. That's using people's hopes and dreams of seeing this game come out. The people who actually believe this game will come out.
You
the sunk cost fallacy people.
You are correct.
That's what
All I am saying is that if he doesn't believe what you are saying, if he sees the vision and says, it is justified, these people are believing me, they believe I can give them what I promise, and they are willing to keep paying me to deliver this promise in his, angle, it's justified.
But he is...
So it's not malice, that's what I'm saying.
But there's a reason there are set budgets for projects. There is a reason...
Sure, because you and I living in the realistic, materialistic world. They do not!
I guess that's what I'm saying. When you get this kind of ridiculous success, and I was rooting for this startup when it started. Obviously.
Sure, I paid.
And you paid, I know.
I paid.
You actually supported it. That's what I'm saying.
The idea is great, and the guy has credentials.
Yes, yeah, I love the Wing Commander games. And we said that as well in the fucking video. It's not like we're not giving the guy the props he deserves. We do. We know he has talent. We know he has ambition. But if you look at reality, my man, they're working on this fucking project for 12 years with $700 million and it's counting. This is, and the game is still not out. He keeps adding more and more and more.
Yeah.
This is, there is a thin line between brilliance and just complete another, I don't know what word. Delusion, yes.
Listen, I agree with every word you're saying, but if you look at it from his point of view, if you go into his shoes.
I am trying to look at it from his point of view.
No, and what you're saying is correct. But at the end of the day, the guy sees himself as a visionary.
Yeah, of course.
He has a dream. And he says, I'm not going to rush this. At the meantime,
I'm not going to
I have support. I'm going to take my sweet ass time to deliver this because I know this will be my defining moment. If I fail this, I am a failure for the rest of my life. And I will not go into my grave with this failure under my wing.
Now you're talking.
I will do whatever it takes to have this a successful epitaph.
So now you did hit a nerve there with what you just said. That could be definitely one of the main motivations.
Fear of failure is what makes people murder their family.
I mean, the guy has basically a blank check, unregulated. He gets money. Nobody can tell him shit, right?
Yeah.
He pays his people, obviously. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there.
If he doesn't have close people around him at his personal life or at work that actually care about him, sure, they will yes-man him into oblivion.
Yes, and no, what I'm saying is the guy has the rare opportunity that not a lot of people get in this world. He has like a blank check, the unwavering support of hardcore community. And wait, let me finish.
I am agreeing with you.
And
the cult.
And they're very cultish. 100%.
Exactly.
They're very cultish.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I know some of you might be triggered by what we're saying right now, but it doesn't make it less true, right? It is what it is. And he has a blank check. He has the unwavering support of his hardcore community. Like you said, maybe he doesn't have any people. He surrounds himself with yes men who are basically igniting his delusion even further. And like you said, there is the fear of failure. Why should you finish something that you keep making ridiculous amount of money from? Why should you even release it? That's what I'm saying. Why should you ever release it? If you're afraid to, especially if you're afraid of failing.
It's not a why, it's how could you release it?
Yeah,
he is stuck in a loop of it's not good enough. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I can polish this thing a little bit further. I can add this that makes it perfect. It never ends because you can't have a perfect product.
But then again, you could say the same about Squadron 42. I mean, that single player game, they've recorded those scenes with those actors years ago, bro. They're working on it for so long. When it comes out, if that's a failure, if that even comes out, if it does come out, is there no fear of failure there? Is it not the same?
No, he can always say that
he's known for his single player games.
But the cultish community that is playing StarCitizen right now, if Squadron fails, that won't matter much to them.
You know what? You're right. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm not interested at all at the StarCitizen, the actual full game vision that he has. Yeah. I'm interested in the single player component with the actors and the cutscenes.
Yeah.
I want to feel like I'm just gonna say it. I want it to feel like a Wing Commander game in the modern day. That's it. That's what I want. It seems like he's trying to add so many features even to that game, which is why it never comes out, that at some point you lose your vision, bro. You lose your vision at some point and all you see is just mechanics upon mechanics upon mechanics. And you know what happens when you have too many mechanics in the game? It also becomes overbearing.
Oh, sure.
Overwhelming and overbearing.
Sure, of course.
You want people to actually play this game and enjoy it in the end.
It's a game in the end.
Yeah, I mean,
if you wanted a real life simulator, then you're gonna lose the point.
Bro, the fucking Wing Commander games are very simple. You have the story elements of when you're, in the ship and in the what the fuck? Come on. Work brain work. When you in the cantina with the maniac and all those guys, the characters you talk to them.
You're giving me flashbacks.
You develop a relationship with them. There's you have a little bit of choice of what you're gonna say.
Those games were fucking amazing.
They don't make games like that anymore. And then you go into the combat, which is basically a spaceship simulator, a great one. Right, an action-oriented one, by the way.
Yeah,
it wasn't like overcomplicated. You had the shields
with story and the messages that pop up in the middle.
Yeah, that was a great game. That's all I wanted. Now you're giving me like this hardcore mechanics that he adds, like layer on layer on layer.
You're gonna hit my fucking microphone.
Sorry, you have crafting and you have whatever the fuck ever abilities and RPG elements. Fuck, man, just release the game. You already recorded all the scenes. Just release it already.
And with incredible actors.
Yes, but he knows that if he releases it and it's not like perfect like he has it in his mind, then it will be a failure. And then
perfection is always in our mind. It's only in our mind.
Of course, perfection is an illusion. There is no such thing, my friend.
That's why I said it's only in our mind. We can perceive something as perfect.
I agree with you. Anyways, we're probably going to get downvoted to hell for this, just for this segment. But hey, you can use the timestamps to skip it if you're not interested.
No StarCitizen fan is going to listen to this.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way,
Pivot.
Space simulators that are not bad. EverSpace is decent.
EverSpace, the original one? I know. I played that game.
2 isn't?
You talking because EverSpace 2?
Yeah,
that's a recent game. I tried getting into it. Didn't work for me.
Really?
No, didn't work for me.
Tell me about it.
I played it very little.
What didn't keep you?
The graphics were a bit underwhelming. The voice acting was very monotone and bad, to be honest. The dialogue was really bad. Like, you can tell it's not like a AAA production. And
Never pretended to be.
I don't mean that in the good way. Listen, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think it's actually getting pretty good reviews. Me personally, I didn't engage with it. It felt a bit too old school for my taste. I want something that is in the same vibe as that, but modern and with more production value. And I want a bit more. It almost feels to me like the story and the characters are an afterthought in those games, and not like they put all of their focus on the actual combat, right? Which is good. The combat is good. Yeah. The shield mechanics.
That's the main mechanic of the game.
Yeah, but for me, I don't know. It always feels like a miss, because if I'm not intrigued by the plot, if I don't care about my character or the world, then why am I even fighting? What the fuck am I doing here, right? If it's a single player game, if it's a heavily narrative single player game, which this game pretends to be. Yeah, for me it didn't work. Doesn't mean it won't work for other people. I have very particular taste in games. But I would still love to play an epic space opera game, Wing Commander vibes.
Have you played the X series?
Can you remind me?
It's a space simulator.
I don't think I did. Maybe I can't remember.
Those are like open world.
Less.
You can be a pirate, a trader, whatever.
No, that's too many mechanics for me. I don't want that.
Those are complicated.
I'm looking for a very single,
want to be a space fighter.
I want to play Wing Commander.
Yeah, space fighter, missions and not even privateer, no trade, no buying, nothing. I want to fight enemies. Give me missions, fight.
I want a linear, single player, heavy production with script, like a modern Wing Commander. I think a game like that can be very successful. That's why I actually think the Squadron 42 has a lot of potential. Yeah. If he ever releases that shit. But we'll see. Anyways, let's move on, man. We have to talk about this. I mean, come on. We have to talk about this, bro.
What did you see this?
This is crazy. Apparently, and we keep hearing stories about this production, which apparently is having a lot of troubles. No surprise. Ubisoft, our old friends Ubisoft.
Oh, fucking Ubisoft, man.
So you keep hearing...
The company is burning down.
No, my God. This company keeps delaying their flagship game, basically, the new Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah, but before you say this on behalf of the developers, we have to mention that they were they came back crawling to Steam last month. Yeah?
Yeah, with Outlaws.
That's the game they opened with, but they came calling back to Steam, and there was a story in one of the Access Media.
Yes.
That was like that literally said this. Ubisoft comes crawling back to Steam, and the image was just Gaben sitting in a chair.
With like a mojito in his hand and a bathing suit, bro. With shades, like living life. You know? Did you hear this motherfucker? Did you hear this fat fuck? Like bought a yacht and make it into a gaming yacht, bro.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, bro. That's something I would love to do if I have that fuck you money, bro.
It's just like what do you call it? That guy that goes like from Magic Mike who plays D&D.
I don't know. I've seen that shit.
Joe Manganiello.
Oh yeah. That buff motherfucker.
Yeah. He's like an avid D&D player. He plays.
Oh really?
He's a famous D&D player.
What the fuck?
He made like a whole basement in his house that is everything to do. It's got, you know, life-size figurines and a huge game D&D table.
I know him.
It's a tavern.
I know him from True Blood. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, so
he played the werewolf.
When you can, why wouldn't you do that stuff?
That's crazy, man. That's some fantasy shit right there. I love it. Anyways, half of the developers working on Assassin's Creed Shadows have never worked on game development before. This probably has something to do with them firing people all the time, every time they finish production. So
it's biting them in the ass.
So they're hiring new people with less money and less experience, and like you said, it's biting them in the ass.
Biting in the ass. This will be their downfall. Basically, now when this company is falling apart, like imploding, not exploding, imploding.
Yes.
Okay, everything hangs on this game.
Yep.
This game.
This is a flagship game.
Exactly, it will make or break Ubisoft.
In a way.
And half of the people working on it have no game experience.
And you add that to all the other stories we heard about this production, the whole bullshit.
The delayed production.
Yeah, the whole inaccuracies in the history of Japan, the fact that they didn't show the game in Japan, in the showcase in Japan, which is, by the way,
shows a lot of confidence.
The Japanese are they remember that they do not forget when you disgrace their honor in such a way. They do
not a culture of forgetting.
No, they don't like when you don't show up in the last moment. They literally pulled in the last moment. That's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It shows hysteria in the management.
Confidence.
Lack of confidence.
So much confidence,
bro.
The management has in this game.
Yves Guillemot there is like, you can imagine him running around in the fucking halls and yelling at everyone.
And exactly related to this, after they came back to Steam, they asked Steam to not show the concurrent players in their games.
They
actually want Steam to hide.
That's crazy.
How many people are playing their games? And you know why? Because Outlaws was peaking at about 2,400 players.
That's crazy, man. 2,400. This is a
AAA production
of
a Star Wars.
Star Wars, the biggest franchise in the world. Even after Disney destroyed it completely. Oh my god, bro. I don't know how you can fuck up on such gigantic man. They came to Steam in the first place. They came begging back to Lord Gaben, that fat fuck. Yeah. They came back to him like, can we come back? Please, can we come back to Steam after leaving it twice? Because we're stupid? Let's come back. Because we didn't make enough sales on our shitty, on our shitty storefront that no one wants to use, and on our shitty launcher.
It's not a storefront!
Wait. And they come to Steam crawling back, and they still don't get enough sales in this fucking game.
Too little, fucking too late.
So little sales, they want to
This is one of the crowdest fucking eras of gaming right now. Games are coming out every fucking month. Lots of games. Indiana coming out soon. You know, the amazing 9 out of 10 Veilguard came out.
Oh my god. 5 out of 5.
Last month. And on February, you got like a gazillion games coming out, Avowed and fucking Monster Hunter or whatever, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Bro.
Lots of fucking games are coming out right now.
Bruh.
And they want people to play the old games that they know they failed. Everyone knows already failed.
Yeah, Ubisoft are in bad shape. You know, we made a video about this, about how greed and deflection is killing Ubisoft.
Ever since then, bro, stopped it.
That video is more relevant than ever now. Go check it out. It's facts. We're speaking nothing but facts, and as time goes by, everything we said there is even more true. It's crazy. Fucking crazy, man. Alright, anyways, yeah.
Hey, by the way, so you know when... this went different in my head. Anyways. You know when a company tells you, listen... We're done with the patches. It's a single player game. There's no money in this. We need to focus. We need to move on. It makes no sense. So Larian is putting, announced another patch for Baldur's Gate 3.
That's crazy that they're still releasing patches for this game.
They're adding fucking content. They're adding subclasses. More subclasses to the game. It's like people that there's memes on the internet now of saying like, I'm finally over my addiction to Baldur's Gate 3. I can play something else. And then there's someone stopping who's like, patch 8.
That's crazy, man. That they're adding subclasses, you said? So
yeah, you can play whole new characters that you haven't played.
Wow. Yeah, the absolute...
And other things.
They're treating that game like... They're treating it like it deserves. They're treating it like the masterpiece that it is. And...
They're treating it like not something that makes them money. They're treating it like something that is going to be there for the ages. That this defines them. It's artwork.
And by doing that, they basically... They were still losing money, by the way, in 2022. Right? And then, since they released the game, bro, Larian ranked in a whopping $260 million profit only from Baldur's Gate 3.
Profit!
Bro.
Not income.
That's crazy.
Profit!
From a single player, no online, no DLC, no nothing, bro. Just a pure single player, massive game that they worked and that poured their years into it. I mean, we talked about this game so many times already. People are sick of hearing about it. Use the timestamps, guys. But yeah, I mean, you can't like ignore the achievement, and you can't ignore the fact that the company that made this single player game without any gacha, DLC, cases, skins, or stuff like that are making a lot of money. They're extremely successful right now.
The shit they added until now is fucking DLCs. It's
other
DLCs worth content.
Other companies would have definitely released that as DLC for $20.
Companies release DLCs as cosmetic items for your character. Like a set of cosmetic items is a DLC. Yeah. This company just added subclasses, not as a DLC. That's like adding characters to your live service game.
They don't have to do this. They can move on to the next project and focus on that. But they choose to do this because they love it. They themselves love the product they released.
Yes, that's the point.
People don't understand. This is, I think, what I just said right now is maybe we should make a video about it because it's such a big deal. A lot of companies today don't release a product that they themselves would have played and enjoyed. They released a product.
Oh, you mean the Blizzard motto?
The Blizzard, the Ubisoft motto, lately at least. All of those big companies, they completely lost their whole whatever made them great in the first place. They used to release games that they themselves loved to play, right? And now those people are not the decision makers. It's the money people who are the decision. Those people don't play the games. The money people, who are the most important people in those corporations, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They never played the game in their life, my friend. All they see is the numbers and the engagement and the retention rates. That's all they care about. And they want to know how can you make the user base stay on your game for the most time, so I can show it to the shareholders in the next meeting, in the next quarterly meeting. That's all.
Bro, so what you're telling me is all these companies have lived long enough not to die the hero, but become the villain?
That fucking quote will never be not true. Like, it keeps getting more and more truthful every year since that movie came out.
You're saying exactly what we've been saying for a few recorded episodes.
I mean, we always repeat the same shit. It is what it is.
Corporate industry took over and started destroying everything. That's basically it.
There's a name for it, by the way. The long-term degradation of a product's quality, usually online product. There is a phrase known as the Enshitification. Enshitification, okay? Which is basically the...
also known as Crapification.
It's basically how something like Netflix starts. They start out as an extremely successful catalog of movies and TVs, of media, of content that you get for a pretty reasonable price. And there's no ads. And that's the reason you want to watch it, because there's no ads. That's what you get in your basic package right off there is no other package. The only thing you pay for is quality, or higher quality of bitrate, like on 4K or 2K. Those are the things you used to pay about.
You're paying for easy access to shit you want to see.
Yes. With time, that service started removing content that you used to watch without any warning. They just remove stuff.
They give warning.
What warning do they give?
I get emails all the time of, here's the shit that's leaving Netflix on this and this date.
Did they say that they remove stuff?
Yeah, always.
Okay. So at least Netflix does.
Yeah,
that.
Netflix lets you know in advance.
Not every online streaming platform does that. I can tell you that.
You spoke of Netflix. I gave you the Netflix reply.
Well, Netflix is still compared to other fucking services. They're okay.
I was about to go to bed, but not that bad.
Well, I mean,
bro, they fucking produced Witcher.
I mean, bro, Witcher is not a good example, bro.
The first season was okay.
Sure, and the other 2 seasons are shit.
Okay, so they
They produced a lot of stuff. They produced a lot of good stuff. I'm telling
anyone who has the balls to produce The Witcher is okay in my book.
Enshitification talks about the degradation of
yes.
In time.
Yes.
As time goes by. It starts as a very, very good quality product, and as time goes by, you start losing features from that product and paying more money.
Yes.
That's enshitification. Why? They make you pay more money as time goes by every time. You can't tell me they don't raise the prices.
They did.
Sometimes more than once a year.
They did.
Go on. They change the catalog all the time. Doesn't matter that they give notification. They keep changing it.
Yes.
Okay.
But keeping things fresh is not a bad thing.
Sure. And then I don't know if they did it, but I know for sure that their rivals, Amazon, does that. They keep adding new tiers. That if you don't use those new tiers that cost more money, you do start getting ads in your fucking streaming. This happens in Amazon right now.
Are you talking about Prime Video?
I'm talking about Prime Video in Amazon, yes.
I don't get commercials there.
What?
Only commercials to their content. Like what? You get but you can skip it.
But what fucking tier are you using? That's all I'm asking.
Are there tiers?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. You don't even know. They might have switched you and you don't even know.
I pay $6 a month.
They keep moving the needle. They keep asking for more.
For years I've been paying $6 a month and I get the content with no, commercials.
Alright. Well, alright.
Don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Guess I'm full of shit then.
I'm not saying you're full of shit. I'm not saying I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't use those streaming services anymore. I stopped using them when I saw that they keep raising the prices all the time without actually getting any better in any
Netflix
way.
Did. Prime hasn't raised. It's been $6 since I remember.
I don't know. Maybe in our part of the world. I can tell you for sure.
We get a very small segment.
I can tell you for sure they raised the prices around the world 100%, and they added new tiers that basically are ads.
The prices of everything in the world go up.
Yeah, but adding tiers of that you get fucking ads, bro, while streaming when you used to not get ads.
Look, if it's something you pay for,
that is the very definition of
get ads, then that's shitty.
Alright, let's move on. This subject is pissing me off. Yeah. I didn't expect you to
this from BG3.
Oh, by the way, don't you play it with another dude, one of our friends?
With a few of our friends. We started Coop Run.
Wanna tell
it's
us?
Funny as fuck.
How is it? Is it fun?
Yeah, because everyone does their own shit and you just try to... it gives you a fun angle because it's like a D&D meeting. Everything is chaotic.
Yes.
It makes the game very chaotic. And that's fun if you come with the right attitude for that.
Yeah.
Like,
so you fail a lot, right? You die a lot.
We haven't died yet. No, it's
really?
It's funny things like we've decided, okay, let's try to make an evil run, we said. Right? Okay?
All right.
So
How many are you?
4.
4? Wow.
Yeah,
you got 4 people. Group.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we started arguing who's going to be Dark Urge.
Right.
And somehow that argument wasn't settled and we thought someone was going to make a Dark Urge and no one made Dark Urge.
That sounds typical for you guys.
Exactly. So there's no Dark Urge, but there's lots of laughs, We ended up, without saying in advance, we ended up having 3 elf females.
Yeah.
And a giant orc. And then at some point we're like, we need to replace this giant orc dude. He's ugly. And then he turns around and was like, I'm a woman.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Shit. So you guys are having fun. Good.
So they said evil run, right?
Right. So
we get to Lazelle.
But how does it work? I mean, how does co-op work in such a single player heavy narrative game? Everyone plays his own, like, how do you guys...
Basically, all 4 of you are the important main character, and that's it.
I don't get it, though. You can't how far away from each other can you get?
As far as you want, I think.
So each one can go to his own solo adventure, basically, when you're in the same world?
Yeah.
So what's the point of playing together if you're not in a group together?
If you're not going to stay together, there is no point of you playing together.
Are you guys actually staying together?
Yeah, relatively.
Relatively?
Because sometimes someone just moves a bit and then he starts a conversation and then he's like the main character doing the conversation. We can just vote on telling him what he should take.
But
he decides the conversation.
The person who talks, who initiates the conversation?
Yeah, he decides what happens in the conversation.
And the other people can vote?
We're eavesdropping, basically.
And you can vote on what to...
We can give a vote, he doesn't have to listen to us.
Bro, this sounds actually kind of fun, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's fun as fuck, I'm telling you. So we said we're gonna do an evil run, okay? So this is a prime example where we say evil run and then 4 people each have a different mental image of what evil run means.
Right.
You know? So we get to Lazelle, and all 4 of us know that we fucking hate her guts at the beginning. So of course we immediately murdered her. And then when you find her, there's like 2, innocents from the camp that are there. And they're like, thank you for dealing with this evil whatever. They didn't like her. And then one of us suddenly attacks those 2.
Right.
It was like, why is there a fight? And they're slaughtering. So first we kill them. And then we ask each other, why did we attack them? And then it's like, we said an evil run.
You kill them first and ask questions later.
Exactly. And someone says, we said an evil run. And it was like, yeah, but an evil run doesn't mean you murder everyone you see. There needs to be a reason why you kill someone. And then and then the third person was like, well, they had a crossbow I liked.
Oh man, and you also you do all of this while
voice chat
on Steam.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. What a crazy game, bro. Such amazing value you get out of that game. All right, well, let's stop talking about BG3 and move on.
What are you talking about? We lost audience when I stopped giving the BG3 updates.
So, by the way, the new, I don't know why I picked this story, because it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, but it's also kind of funny, I guess. Sad and funny, both. You can decide. Basically, the former BioWare boss, Casey Hudson, he closed the studio he launched in 2021 without releasing a single game.
The one that was supposed to give the alternate Mass Effect game?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was something like that. It didn't happen.
No. We need to check this, because the Exodus is like the thing that anyone hating on BioWare right now is saying this is the thing that is going to rescue the fan base.
In June 2021, Hudson announced that he had established a new game development studio, Humanoid Origin, that was working on a new intellectual property. Later to be revealed. Okay, Space Age Parallax.
All right.
And on November 25, 2024, Humanoid Origin announced its closure. So yeah, he also wanted to make a space Mass Effect game.
Yeah.
But so the Exodus Mass Effect game is still going on.
Yes.
So, at least that one is still going on.
Yep.
But the other one is dead. Anyways, what I was trying to say with this, the reason I picked this headline, because the whole fucking BioWare, old BioWare versus the new one, and with the new game, Dragon Age coming, and how terrible it was, at least in our opinion. How even the old guys that are trying to do their own thing they can't catch that old BioWare magic, It's such a tough thing to do, to go on your own and start a new studio and try to capture that old magic. I mean, the guys who made Stormgate, the veteran guys from Blizzard who made StarCraft, they went on their own. A lot of the guys who made the original StarCraft, StarCraft 2, they went on their own, created Stormgate, a game that is now in early access, basically, or in alpha mode, or whatever the fuck they call it these days. Yeah. It's terrible. I mean, the game had like 1 week where people were interested in it, and then nobody was playing it anymore. And they released a big patch. No one wants to come back. It looks like a mobile game visually. It looks terrible. They updated the graphics since then. It looks better now, but it's still. They launched it to the masses to beta test when it was in a horrible position, and it feels like a clone of their old games. It just there's no.
There are examples of people. Ex-people of
of course,
famous that they started something that did work.
Of course, I'm just saying it's very difficult, especially in today's gaming world, and how how many people are losing their jobs all the time. How they try to follow trends instead of just going back to the
corporate crap.
No, but they leave because they're sick of the corporate crap.
No, I'm saying people losing their jobs is the corporate crap.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's what making the games suck.
Yep.
And that's why it's great reading things like this. Global Indie Games Market Report of 2024 tells us that for the first time ever, indie games are generating as much revenue as AAA and AA titles on Steam.
Which is actually really, really, really impressive. Like crazy.
Yeah, and it's good also on Steam, because this means they used to have a problem. Remember the days of Greenlight?
Yes.
They used to have a problem that criticized a lot about games not having the storefront attention, you know?
Yes.
People were not finding good games because they were drowned in the crap.
Yeah, Total Biscuit used to shit on them on that.
Yeah, on that, exactly. And if now indie games on Steam are making as much revenue as the AAA games, that means Steam has done something to fix that.
Yep.
They're actually getting attention. People are finding the good indie games.
Yeah, agree with that. Yeah, listen, I'm not a big indie player, even though I do play. I usually play the most successful ones that are most known. I'm not one of those guys who just. Well, that's not true. I did play a lot of indie games that are just. I found them browsing on Steam. It's rare these days. I find like, and I don't consider myself a big indie gamer. I most of the games that I invest most of my time in are indeed the bigger games, I admit. That being said, I always root for them. Always. I want as much competition to the big boys as possible. I wish that the big boys would try to get a bit less, trend chasing, and more like back to the basic of what makes those indie games so great. You know, I can't wait when we get to a position where game engines become so good and so modern and so strong that indie developers can use very elaborate and very complex game engines and create games that are very, very visually impressive, that have all the mechanics that you expect from a modern visual game, and add the stuff that makes it indie. Add the features.
The problem is that it's not that they can.
Oh, they can.
It's hours of work.
Of course.
That's the problem. When you're not at 100 people working on it.
Oh, of course. I mean, listen, I do love. I get it. It's you hear about those projects every now and then of one dude or two dudes or like a few people making a game that becomes this amazing success, right? And they deserve every bit that they get, every success they get, and I hope they make many more games. But there's some...
I play a lot of games like that.
Yeah, I know. And I played a bit, my fair share as well, but not as many as you. Because like I said, I am more of a double to AAA gamer.
Yeah.
That's more games to my sensibilities. I love the big Sony games.
Yeah.
All the Spider-Mans and the God of Wars. I love those games. I love heavily narrative single player games.
They didn't put the Spider-Man on Steam, right?
It is coming, yes.
It's coming, but it's not
there. Yeah, it's coming. Anyways, yeah, I'm rooting for the indie industry. I just hope that they don't always go for the old visual style of like pixel art or, extreme. I know why they do it. I understand. It's usually most of the time because it's a lot less expensive. You don't have to pay a lot of money to use a much more stronger engine, right?
Yeah.
And
also easier to, create the art in the
You
end.
don't need to bring you don't have to learn that engine from scratch or bring in someone who's specialist and pay him a lot of money. I get it. I just hope that with time, the indie and the AA, I think the AA is already starting to do it, the production value will increase without actually having to spend more money. You know what I mean?
It's already,
just by the tools they use.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. All right. Yeah. So
tell us about the Sony thing.
Sony. Yeah. Sony boss admits forcing PC gamers into PlayStation accounts can, and I quote, invite pushback, but insists they have to keep the games safe. Which doesn't really make sense with single player games.
He's full of shit!
Bro, there is exactly zero reason that my dad had to create a Sony account to play God of War, Valhalla. The second God of War that came out.
What do you mean there was no reason? There was no reason for him.
Yeah.
There was a reason for Sony.
Oh, there's definitely a reason for Sony. For sure. It's so...
All these corporates want to be able to affect the minds of their customers. They want
bigger numbers, bro.
What do you call that? Engineering.
Thought control?
Yeah, there's a name. Something engineering.
Social engineering?
Let's say. I'm not sure, but doesn't matter.
Well,
our listeners understand what I'm talking about. They need to profile you. For them to know what buttons to press to get you to buy and spend money with them, they need to profile you. And for them to profile you, they need to know what you like, what you do, where you play, and where you spend all your hours. And to do that, they need you to have a fucking account, because then you agree to all those things no one reads, and then they can collect all that information on you. Information that Steam doesn't always share.
Not to mention, they can show the shareholders how, look how long people are on our platform.
Accounts, yeah.
Yeah, look. Of course they're on your fucking platform. They have to be to play your fucking game. That they used to be able to play single player without connection to internet. And what about the 180 countries that basically can no longer play Sony games because they can't create accounts in those countries? That's so disgusting, man. And I understand that I'm a fucking hypocrite. I don't give a shit. I played the shit out of those Sony games. I love those Sony games. I love the developers that are making those games. I love them. I think those are fantastic games. I love those games. Do I hate Sony for what they're doing? Yes. Both things can be true in the same time. It's not mutually exclusive, as they say.
You know what this reminds me? This is going to be a flashback to our history. Okay, very, very.
Oh yeah.
Very far into the past.
Yes.
Well, you know how I used to be a gamer in my own shell. You know, I didn't have Steam. I didn't check YouTube or whatever. I'd know what games come out. I'd read a bit. I'd get the ones that I like. I'd play them. I wouldn't give a fuck. I was in my own thing. And you, I, and our friend Stites would play StarCraft.
Yep.
Remember?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Our trio.
Yeah. Didn't we play with Nate as well, StarCraft?
I played with Nate. I'm not sure.
There's three of us for sure.
Maybe.
That's how it started, didn't it?
No, it started with you and I and Stites.
No, I'm talking about
you, Stites, and I.
The relationship with Nate.
No, Nate relationship started.
It was CS.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
He was a random in our game, and he liked our vibe.
Yeah, that was crazy. So we still play to this day, bro.
Bro, he switched sides. He was against us.
I remember that. Shout out to Nate, man.
Yeah, we love you, bro.
Yeah,
we drive you crazy, but we love you.
Yeah.
Anyway, back then, and Skyrim came out, and I was always an Elder Scrolls fan. I played since Daggerfall. I played all Elder Scrolls, existing ones.
Yep.
And I got the game, and when the physical copy, it's the days of the physical copy, but Steam existed, and it forced me to install Steam to play Skyrim.
And you hated that shit.
Hated? I was so raged. I went online to see if there's a way to bypass it. I saw the forums where people whined about it. I was like, fuck you, you're not going to make me use a third-party software. And you and Stites tried to basically convince me not to return the game. I was about to return it. I was like, fuck that, I'm not playing it.
I can't even remember this.
Exactly. Shit. You and Stites were like, bro, Steam is great. You want Steam, get Steam. Steam is good for you. You know, you said on me, and then I installed Steam.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, and the rest is history.
That day you became a real gamer. We cracked your gamer cherry, bro.
It's like that story about Jeff Bezos. There's a story he told in one of the podcasts he was in, where he said sometime in the beginning when he started Amazon, he was just selling the books. You know, it was I sell books.
Yeah,
it was a book front. Someone was trying to do a hostile takeover of Amazon, and he needed to get money real fast so he can keep a majority of his company.
Yep.
So he had like 48 hours where he met like 100 investors. They had like 100 meetings in 48 hours.
Jesus Christ.
It was like 1995 or something. And he says, I remember that of all the meetings, the same thing that kept repeating itself was me having to explain to those investors what is the internet and what is it good for.
Yeah, the internet, man.
And then here we are.
Back when the early 2000s, when the internet was a lot more free and not as regulated as it is today, not infested with ads everywhere, and people following everything you do online if you don't have the right tools. It's became such a shitfest today. You know, do you know the dead internet theory? Have you heard about it?
No.
It says that most of your interaction in your day-to-day internet browsing is against AI or bots in the last few years. And as time goes by, your connection with actual human beings on the other side is slowly but surely disappearing. That's why it's called the dead internet theory, because basically it's not in the internet anymore. It's just a bot fest. Bots interacting with each other. And every now and then you might see an actual someone saying something that's upvoted enough so people can see it, right? But the bots know, the AI knows exactly what to say and what to type to get the most upvotes, and then people reply to that, the other bots reply to that upvotes, and they get upvoted as well, and the real humans get drowned out. basically.
I'm guessing you're talking about social media mainly?
This is, of course, it is mostly about social media.
Upvotes.
Yes, it's mostly about social media, Reddit.
Because I don't have any of them.
Sure. Oh, yeah, for you. But still, okay, I'll give you another example. Sure. It's not only social media. Google. You go to Google and you search something. What are the upvotes? What are the most things that you will see at first? It's whoever pays the most. That's what it is. And then you go to the organic searches. And it used to be where you actually find exactly what you want. Pretty easy. These days,
yeah, I know.
You need to browse through so much shit, paid shit, most of it, which is also SEO based, meaning it's written in a way that they use buzzwords, words that are more searchable, and they put those words as many times as they can in the text, and it doesn't give you the information you need up until the very last moment, basically. And to get to that moment, you need to scroll down, and you get to see a lot of ads if you don't have any blocker. Right? It doesn't feel like, and these days it's probably AI writing that shit because it's so spaced. Even if it's not AI, it's so copy and paste, right? It's like, it doesn't feel like someone, like it used to be like a blog, a personal blog that someone put some tips to a game for. This is why I like YouTube still, because YouTube still feels like we see it in our YouTube, right? You feel like you're actually interacting with real people who react to your videos, at least in our small channel.
But
right?
I have to ask, you started this rant with saying that the internet used to be free and now it's heavily regulated.
Oh yeah, of course.
But the way to fight, like if you decide that, non-human accounts are illegal or whatever, the only way to fight that is regulation.
First of all, let me just say and emphasize this is a theory. Right? This is not something that is proven.
No, it is known. It's politicians and lobbies and whatever.
I'm not saying
bots, hundreds and thousands of bots. It's known.
What I'm saying right now, this is not my personal opinion. This is what the theory is. And do I agree with it? To a point. Do I completely agree with it? No. I don't think the whole fact. I have plenty of conversations with people still to this day on Reddits about stuff.
I think it's people.
Yeah. And we have conversation. I mean, we read what people write in our videos, and we upvote them, and we enjoy the interaction. We enjoy seeing what people say about our videos.
You understand that if someone lets you talk to an AI on the phone, you won't know it's an AI, right?
In today's world, I think I would like to think that me personally, I would know because I know.
No, it's perfected.
I don't know about that, bro. Maybe in some circles in the world, but I don't think it's mainstream yet. I don't think call centers are calling you for AI just yet.
Well, there was already. It already exists. But I'm telling you, the human tests, like to see if a human can tell it's an AI, because this is one of the first tests they had to, overcome.
Yeah,
it's long gone. You don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
I set up a safe word with my wife.
Yeah,
and not the safe word that you want for the sex life. No. We have decided on a safe word. Well, because an AI can imitate your voice from an 8-second sample. He can talk like you. It's you on the phone, 100%. No one who knows you will know the difference. And we have set up this safe word so that if one of us gets a shady call, it sounds like the other one on the other side, and it says, "Listen, there's no time. We have to transfer now $30,000 to this and that account for whatever." You have your doubt.
Yeah,
we have a safe word. What's the safe word?
Well,
if the other side doesn't know, you hang up.
Well, I don't know if I'm on that level of paranoia just yet, but it's getting there. Let's just say this. We are heading towards a future, the dystopian future that we've seen in so many movies, like in so many classic movies. We're heading there, the speed of light. And we know exactly what we're heading into and don't give a shit. It's like watching a car accident only from your POV, you're watching it from inside the car in slow motion. And you don't care, you just keep going. It's like that scene from Austin Powers. I can't remember if it's the first one or the second one.
Yeah. Where he's about to run over the guy.
Yeah, and you can tell he's like...
There's like half an hour until he gets it.
No! He's in extremely slow vehicle to run him over. It takes him an hour to get there. It's so funny. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I think that's all we got for you today. Midgame Life Crisis, episode 10, monthly podcast, mostly monthly.
Mostly.
I'm Inconsistency.
I'm Werewolf.
And see you guys next time.
Bye.
We out.